Carter and Nick, please report to the manager's office. Carter and Nick, please report to the manager's office. Thank you.
I don't believe in your medicine, so leave me to die. Oh, when I said I'm going crazy, I'm head to the other side.
Just do electronics.
Hi, how's it going today?
Good. I'm looking for 7.
A 7? A 7? Seven.
Yeah, 7. 7. It was your ad, page 3.
What was it for? What was it used for?
It goes in the machine I bought here 2 weeks ago.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, for sure. What machine was that?
It was a printer, but I don't remember brand.
Definitely. So you're looking for this 7 ink, like ink number 7, color black.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what brand of printer?
I don't know, but I'll definitely know when I see it. I only bought it here 3 years ago.
Okay, definitely. So we have HP ink, we have Brother ink, we have Epson ink, and we have like recycled brands of each of them. I think a couple of them have 7. I don't think a single one of them is a single digit ink cartridge. Do you know? Were there any more digits in the ink cartridge designation?
I think it was a Befesmo 7.
A Befesmo. Okay, so I've never sold a Befesmo brand printer in the 2 years I've worked here. Now, you did say 3 years ago, so hey, benefit of the doubt, maybe you did. But if you did, I don't have that anymore, and I don't have that ink.
Oh,
I'm very
okay.
sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just go over to Staples.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Retail Release, the podcast where we rant about our retail life. I'm there's a cat whining at our door. We're coming at you out of Ontario.
Meowtario.
My name is Roderick.
Roderick Stevenson.
Roderick Stevenson, Ontario.
If you don't like our service, we'll cross-check you into the front glass.
My great-great-great-grandfather founded Ontario. His name was Ulysses Ontario.
My name's Nick. Welcome to Retail Release. This is not a kid-friendly show. Our store is family-friendly. We are not.
Yeah.
Welcome to the cast.
Now that our first episode is up, I was listening to it again, and I kind of want to address something right off the bat that I realized was kind of going on in the first one. So I just want to make this statement right now. When you hear us reenact a conversation that we had with a customer, what we say in our like kind of reenactment dialogue is not what it sounded like in real life. I want to get that out there. When we were with that customer in real life, in real time, in the past, we were much more polite.
Oh, yeah. We have the best poker face mask imaginable.
The courtesy is unlimited when it comes... Well, not... Okay.
People literally trust us with their children. They just release children into the apartment.
Yeah.
So, like, we're nice people.
We're not being sarcastic. We're not being assholes to the customers when they're here at the time. When we're relaying that story... We will make artistic edits.
Well, it's definitely what's going through our head.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in our
that time
monologues,
frame.
but none of that was expressed to the customer, so don't think that, like, we're trying to destabilize our department.
We would literally get fired.
Yeah,
if
we
did
wouldn't do that.
Our business is not that shady.
This is for humor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah, it's for
entertainment
laughs.
purposes only. So legally that unbinds us from any contracts we've signed, I think is true.
I think so.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Anything we say that we said to a customer, it was probably not said as awfully as I say it on the show.
We certainly didn't use, what's the term, expletives? No.
I want to talk about something that really surprised me. It took me off guard. And this is probably antithetical to the sake of this cast. Let's walk through apparel, because we have to, most days.
It's the only way to hide.
It's the only way to get out.
You know how when you're a child and you hid in between the pants? That's the only way to safely make it back to the break room.
So I've worked at this store for 3 to 4 years now. I've lost track. I think I said it at the beginning of the other. It doesn't matter. I was walking. This is the first time this has ever happened to me. I was walking through apparel. A lady stops me and says, "Hey, do you know this department?" And I said, "No, I don't." And she said, "Oh, never mind then."
Wow.
Right?
Oh, that's the ideal customer right
Right?
there.
Immediately, I was like, and what it did, like, oh man, it was mind games, really, because what it did to me immediately, I immediately said, instinctually, I was like, I can find someone who can help you.
Yeah, right?
Like, she programmed me.
It's like, oh, dear God, like, oh, you're definitely a secret shopper.
She totally rewired my brain. Like, and I said, I can go get you someone. And she said, nah, it's fine. And I was like, what?
What?
This has never happened to me.
Wow.
Someone was just like, accepted that there are 300 people that work at this store, and maybe not all of them work in
Some
apparel.
of them don't work in apparel.
God, it was amazing.
Yeah, wow.
I felt guilty
that's
that I
the
didn't
ideal
work in apparel.
Yeah. And, like, to be honest, like, because people are nice, and we're nice people, if you do that, like, we are more inclined to find somebody to help you.
Yeah,
If you're like, yeah, you're not obligated to help me, and you're like, oh,
definitely.
you're a good person, I need to help you now.
Shoot, how do I?
Dang it.
How do I keep you from being spoiled by this cruel world?
I have to reward this good behavior.
You've got to know that this is the way to act. You can't. Oh gosh, you can't just be unrewarded for your empathy.
In the this is the alternative, is what happened to me today. I was walking back with our, like, forklift cart thing, back from our warehouse area through the store. I was going through produce, and there was, like, a produce cart in the way, so there's only, like, kind of one lane of traffic they can go through, and I saw an approaching woman with her cart, and so I stopped to allow her to pass, and she stopped too, and she had this wry smile on her face, and I was like, I thought she was gonna let me pass, but then she slowly approached, blocking everyone behind her, and just said, "Do you know where dried cranberries are?" In, like, that tone. And I was so dumbfounded by just, like, okay, you've now, like, blocked everyone in the lane because you've now stopped in front of me in, like, the only hole that was open. Just ask me, who just has a cart that's going through produce. Like, nothing is wheeled around in produce with one of these carts. Maybe, like, stands of melons, but those aren't even full of real, like, those aren't full of melons. Those are just stands.
It doesn't matter what you look like, what you're holding or carrying or anything like that. If they have got a question, they're going to stop you. And I mean, yeah.
Thank God there was a produce guy, like, right there. And he knew. But yeah, I would have just been dumbfounded.
Mm-hmm.
That aisle would have just been blocked for forever.
Okay, let me just drop this fork thing that I've got.
I'll just block all these onions.
Find you dry cranberries. Hold on.
Hang on to your socks, everyone. I'm gonna find some dried cranberries for this woman.
One time I had, so often I'll say, like, in apparel, where this happens a lot because I have to walk through it every day, I'll be like, man, I'm from electronics, I'll try to find you someone who knows more. One time that backfired on me because the guy had a question about watches. He was like, oh, great, well, then you're even more appropriate. And I was like, oh, no, what? It's just like, well, I've got all these kids' watches, and they don't have, none of them work. We were looking at this big mountain of watches, and he was like, none of them work. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I don't have enough evidence yet, but I am certain that cannot be true. We found out that one of the couple of ones that he had experimented with already had the white tab that blocks the battery from making contact with the thing.
Yeah,
had already been pulled. So we were like, okay, well, you just got to buy one. This has got a tab in it. It's going to work. And he's like, well, how do I know it's going to work? And then we have to pull the tab out to find out if it works. And I was like, well, if you pull the tab out, you got to buy it right away. And he was like, okay, we've entered a really interesting
Those are the same
circular argument.
Those are the same customers from last episode that ask to unbox something and then grab a new one off the shelf. I had a lady do that today.
It was apparel, though I didn't care.
Yeah, that's
so I was
true.
like, yeah, do it. Pull the tab. Like, let's get going.
Let's go.
I have to get back to my apartment.
Let's make this
put
sale.
stickers on stuff. Let's do this. I pulled all the tabs
These
out.
stickers are gonna expire, man. They need to be refrigerated. Let's go.
Get these watches to the fridge.
Can you imagine calling a parcel for things that are non-perishable?
Hey, these before they spoil.
These DVDs gotta get back to the shelf.
Before they spoil, can you put this watch back in the dairy?
No, wait, we could do that, because printer ink expires.
Printer ink does expire.
Just we could call a parcel from our desk and say,
Something I did not know
Say-
until I worked in this department was that printer ink expires.
please get this back to the shelf. It's gotta get back before it expires. And they're like, what? And you're like, yeah, you gotta get it back before December of 2018.
We should just do that with cans of Red Bull. You know how when you go to the dentist. Now I'm harking back because it's been a while.
You know
know how pre-dentist there's like a procedure where you clean your teeth. Like before going to the dentist, you brush your teeth. I brushed my teeth twice. I used to do that before I went to the dentist.
You know, to be totally honest with you, and this is definitely a side tangent for Joey, when I'm approaching the dentist, I oftentimes stop brushing my teeth, because frankly, they're going to clean your teeth for you.
Well,
I mean, what? Okay, so the reverse...
Okay, I have a different philosophy.
Well, okay, see, I did too. I was like, oh, I'm going to the dentist soon. I better floss a lot
yeah.
so that they think I'm flossing.
Yes.
But they know you're not flossing, so
Right.
what's the fucking point, right?
Which is what... Okay, but...
They're gonna clean your teeth. Like, the tartar that builds up between 2 weeks from the appointment and the appointment is gonna be 0 because they're gonna scrape it all off with that scrapey bit.
But you should still be... Okay, so here's...
I mean, I still treat my teeth good, but I just don't treat it as often.
No, my thinking is the exact opposite. I've got to keep taking care of my teeth until I go to the dentist and they do the super clean, in which case I think my teeth are immune from stuff for like the next 2 to 3 days,
no,
and I don't brush or floss.
That's... See? Okay,
Because I'm
directly
like, I
after
did it.
you
They
get...
did my teeth.
Okay, that's like if you go to the car wash and then immediately go through like a mud field and you're like, that's good.
I don't know.
Like, you thoroughly clean every time after the dentist because they already got the crud off. Like, now you're just building it on, you're like, I'm good until 6 months from now.
No, well, like,
I guess you gotta build your base layer like a tan.
I don't
Is
stop
that what you're
brushing
saying?
for 6 months. I'm just like, I'm immune for like a day because they did the mega clean. Like the germs are gonna get in there. That's just how it happens.
Okay.
Anyways, so I guess you don't. I grew up in a household where I had to brush my teeth before the dentist, at least to get all the gunk out. Like, you don't want the dentist having to get the gunk out.
Oh, yeah, no,
your
for
teeth.
sure. The chunks?
The exact same rule needs to apply to when a customer hands me their grubby ass cell phone.
Oh my god.
Here's the thing, like, there should be a rule where you can reject just off of hand based on appearance alone, not of the person, but of the thing they give you. You would not believe the amount of, like, the most extreme for greasy, dirty, grubby, like, cell phone screens that I have had to touch.
Yeah, because we have to touch them with our
Because
hands.
somebody hands it to me, and they're like, well, will, like, fix my problem? And I'm like, okay, well, we're not a tech service. I can't stress that enough. But it's like, I just want to reject offhand, just be like, no, it is offensive and disrespectful, the level of germiness on this phone that you've handed to me, like, this doesn't matter. And it's like, I understand, you know, when your room is messy, you don't really see that it's getting messy until you're about to have somebody over and you're like, shoot, I gotta clean up. But like,
We did have that one guy who literally had dirt, like, shoved into the charging port. And you're like, wait, we can't charge your phone because there's literally just dirt shoved into it.
I had a woman. Okay, this is the ultimate story about this, too. I had a woman. Her screen wasn't terrible. She was complaining that nobody could hear her talk. Okay. Now, nobody could... So I was like, all right.
Okay.
Well, let's... Like, how much time do you have? Let's go through some
Yeah.
trial and error here. I was like, let me call you. And we figured out that, yeah, you couldn't... It sounded all garbled when you talked through a phone... or when she talked through her phone to us. It was a flip phone. And so I was looking at it. And then I saw something that looked a little weird. and then I grabbed a paperclip or a thumbtack or something, and then I stuck it in where, like, the little hole where the microphone is on the bottom of this flip phone, and I dug out, like, a clump of wax from that microphone.
How did that even
It was
happen?
like, I don't know. I just carved out a bunch of goo. I mean, like, not a lot of goo, but, like, a lot of goo.
Well,
like,
yeah, like-
enough goo that you couldn't hear the person on the phone talking.
A surprising amount for the tiny little hole that is needed for a microphone.
Exactly. Like, because it was tan. Like, the hole was tan and not,
Oh.
like, black.
Oh,
I was
God.
like, that doesn't seem right. And so I cleaned it out, and I was like, let's do this call again. And so I was holding her phone, and I handed her our phone.
Yeah.
And I started talking to her, and her eyes just, like, lit up because she could hear me perfectly. And I had to, like, the solution was to clean gross goo out of her phone. That should not be something I have to do.
In electronics, a mechanical solution should not be prioritized. That should not. That should not be something that we have to resort to. Okay. Also, when like people return controllers and stuff, and they're just like shoved with like hand grease stuff, and you're like, how did you even do this? Like the serial numbers match. You like clearly bought this like 2 weeks ago. Like what?
How?
Were you just like eating Cheetos, then licking your hands, then touching the controller, then like putting your hands in some car grease, and then
You
like
let the
back on
bag
the
be
controller?
player 2, and you gave it the controller, and it just, like, messed around with it for a while.
If I need a Lysol wipe to wipe down the controller just to return it because it broke, that's bad.
That's bad.
That's
It's
bad.
not good.
Yeah, no, I have thought about turning people away from returning things until they clean stuff.
I have had kids knock over my giant our big dominoes of TVs, in the
TVs.
middle of the floor in our department, and that's just like, and then me and the dad make eye contact, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna prop these back up again, and you can pretend this didn't happen. Let's just have peace.
Yeah, and then you can buy a product from me out of guilt.
It'll be fine. You'll
It'll-
scorn your kid.
It'll be great. Yeah, the best be like if it's April Fool's Day, and you're like, yeah, you gotta pay for all this. And just like seal off the entrances. Just call
Yeah,
LP.
you're done. Kids are the best. Kids are probably the highlight of my day in electronics because kids are like unpredictably fun to just like kind of have around in the department. I had a kid today. This was today. He came up to me, and this was very out of the blue because I've never had to handle something like this before. He was looking at cameras, and then he said, just kind of, he was looking at the camera, but I know he was talking to me because there's nobody else around. He was like, if you had $1 million, what would you do with it? It's like,
That's the best when you're like, do you have $1 million?
yeah,
That would be my
adults
follow-up
don't-
question.
Adults don't care
I,
about me.
I just like look and just be like, do you have $1 million?
this dude, this kid, maybe 14. Let's go. He was
Okay.
an older kid.
Okay.
If you had $1 million, what would you do with it? And I was like, I'd probably try to buy some property. I couldn't think of anything.
I'd buy land because
So I was
that
like-
doesn't lose value over time.
Like, yeah, I was just like, God, I would
God, I'm such an adult.
probably
Fuck.
find a place where I could afford rent, like, safely for the next, like, 3 or 4 years. I don't know. Like, I can't fathom that. I mean, and neither could this kid, because I did, the thing. If somebody asks you what would you do with $1 million, what they're really saying is, hey, please ask me what I would do with $1 million. So I said, hey, like, well, what would you do with it?
You just turn it around. You're like, what would you do with $10?
So I was like, well, what would you do with $1 million? And he said, well, I'd buy a really nice camera. I was like,
For $1
oh
million?
no! First he said I'd buy a lot of skateboarding equipment, and then I'd buy this nice camera.
Right.
He was looking at one of our cameras, and I was like, I said to him, I was like, probably have a lot more money after that. What would you?
I was gonna say, kids really need to raise their dreams up.
No,
Or maybe
kids
they
are
shouldn't.
perfect.
Maybe they shouldn't. Maybe they should keep them exactly where they're at right now.
Yeah, this
Like
kid
that kid knew. He's like, what do you do with $1 million? It's like, I'd buy a nice camera and some skateboard equipment and just save the rest. And you're like, yeah.
This kid was
That's
wearing
good.
a Thrasher
Good deal.
t-shirt, and he was like polite. I mean, not necessarily polite, but just like totally mellow. And it's like, buy skateboarding equipment and this particular camera because I've heard that this particular camera is very, very good for skateboard videos. And I was like, dude, right on.
Wow.
Right on, man. Like,
That's great.
I wish I could sell you this camera. And he was like, do you have any battery chargers? That's the other thing that kids do. It's like, they will change the subject
Yeah.
so quickly.
Yeah, man.
Because oh man, there's another kid that we have who comes in maybe every other month. He's kind of,
Did he grow really fast?
he definitely did grow really fast. And
Yeah,
he
I know.
just does not stop asking questions.
I know exactly
Yeah,
what you're talking about.
he just won't stop asking questions. When did this game come out? Have you played it? Is it pretty good? I've always thought that it wasn't super good, but I have all the Skylanders, and I was thinking about getting this controller, but then I thought, no, I don't know, I don't go with the colors. What do you think about this controller? What do you think about this controller? I don't even have an Xbox. Well, I was always thinking about getting the remote, but do you think the remote is really worth getting the remote? This kid is insane.
Not like Crazy Cat Lady or Wasp.
No, yeah, and
Apocalypse
that's kind of where I'm going with this. Is like, we have regulars who come to the department who we like, yeah. If you customer, if you come in regularly, and there very well may be a nickname for you. We have a couple. I don't know if we'll go into any details, but we definitely have Doomsday Wasp Lady,
Yeah.
Crazy Cat Lady. We Longbottom.
Oh.
Do you want to talk about Longbottom? I know there's a sore spot there because
I feel like there's too much rage.
no.
May-
Do you want to
may-
tap in?
You know,
It's Sweeps Week. Let's.
well, I think maybe for like a finale of our particular run of this.
Do you know? We finished with him.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's.
Good. That's
yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Longbottom showed up, and the whole and it ended. The
That
cap,
chapter was closed.
Yes,
the book was closed.
the literal binder
The
that
li-
does exist with this dude's name on it, who's not Longbottom, but we call him that. And it's done now.
I feel like we should do that. I think that should be a whole episode. That should be our whole last episode.
Sure.
Yeah.
The tale of Longbottom.
The Tale of Longbottom. The saga, the epic.
God, it is just.
Yeah, nothing fills me with more rage, Mr. Longbottom. Okay, so yesterday I had a customer. This is just quick a one-off. Customer asked me. We have a photo zone in ours, and he just we weren't even near the photo booth. And he was just like, "What would it take for me to upload my photos to the Costco photo kiosk?" And it was just
I'm not gonna edit that silence out because I'm so confused.
so confused. We don't work at Costco, so that's the problem.
Oh yeah, for those of you playing detective,
Playing
we don't work
playing
at.
bingo.
We've named
Retail
Best Buy
bingo.
and Costco, and we don't work at either. So if you're playing elimination,
We're not eliminating Staples.
no, it's very possible we work at Staples in the Ontario branch.
The Ontario branch of Staples. Do they have Staples in Canada?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. There's only one.
they do.
It's in
Definitely
Ontario.
in Ontario. Okay. So yeah, and it was just like, I would not know that. And he was like, fair point.
This guy is a chaos demon. Like, what the hell is his deal? Well, you got me there. Why did you ask? There is okay, I don't know if this is going to give too many clues away. There's a Costco across the street from us. Neither of us, I don't think, have set foot in it. People ask us questions about their prices constantly.
Nah, I don't have a Costco card.
Yeah, like...
I work in a retail store, part time. I
This-
don't have enough money to go to Costco.
Right, this happens all the time. I don't know if it's specifically us, but here's the raw truth of it.
I'm sure Best Buy gets it too.
But no associate in any department of any store ever does homework. Like, they don't. They don't visit other stores. They don't see, like...
The most homework that we'll do is researching the IMDb scores of new movies.
Oh, yeah.
and video game reviews, because we get
Definitely.
to read those at work when there's nobody around, because it's technically research, quote unquote.
Quote unquote research.
Research.
Because occasionally people ask us if games are good.
Yeah, and so we need to know these things. But yeah, I was going to engineering school. I did not have time to watch any movies for like the last 2 years, so I had no answers other than it was okay on Rotten Tomato.
Like the thought that you can ask the question, is this cheaper at Best Buy, is so astoundingly confusing to me, because one, if you because no matter how you perceive me, what am I gonna do with, like, will I say yeah, and then like, that's not good for my job. Will I lie and say no, even if I knew if it was cheaper? What I would say no, because I want you to buy my stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe we're missing a huge opportunity here to just be like, no, definitely not.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Because what are they gonna do? Go check?
right. It's like, okay, so like, you ask a question where my question becomes, why would you take my word for whatever answer I give you? Like, is this cheaper at Best Buy? No. Do you believe me now? Like, one, I've never been in a Best Buy since I've worked at this store. Like, I haven't walked into one because I don't need to, because all my it's a one-stop shop. I get a discount at the store I work in. I'm not going into other stores almost always.
Almost always.
Almost
it has
always.
everything we need. We get discounts on almost every department.
It's like,
yeah,
it's
why
fine.
would we go
It's-
anywhere else?
It's a lovely store. We love to work there.
but a farmer's market, right? Like,
Yeah, like, why would we off the clock go to other stores and find out what their prices are,
or online.
or online? Maybe
Like-
that's what they want
like,
us to do. Do they want us to Google it?
Sunday morning, I wake up. It's 7 a.m. I open the paper to the ad section. I pull out the Best Buy ad,
Right.
and I just flip through it occasionally just to look at it. No, that's not what we do.
I just gotta know.
I get
are
my
they selling their
news
iPads
digitally. I do subscribe. I do pay for news. I am a millennial.
No, I use the work computer. Go to google.news.com.
Nice. But yeah, there's really no precedent for the other one about this is we also do price matching from our competitors' stores, not online. But
I
just,
love our price matching policy because
Dude, it's
it
so
starts
good.
off by saying price matching is easy, and then it bullet points all of the ways in which it is not at all easy.
and it's like it's really small print on like an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper.
It's just printed off from a printer, and we taped it to the registers. Not so that people would read, but so that we could point people at it when they get mean about it.
Oh yeah, and then we also have really crummy Wi-Fi.
God, our store is a dead zone, which
Yeah.
is, the irony is not lost on us.
Yeah, no, it
Everybody.
really isn't. But the thing is, like, we also have like a ton of computers that also hook up to the same Wi-Fi, but also need to sign in the exact same way as your phone. So it's like a struggle every time. But anyways, the best is when our customers try and get us to help them sign onto the Wi-Fi just so they can check their competitors' prices.
Yeah,
Like how shallow is that? Like who goes to like any other store and is like, okay, but this place sells it for cheaper. I looked it up using your resources.
Yeah, like I used you to find out that I could I could walk all over you.
Oh,
like
also you
what?
can't price match it. So can you give me directions to that store? No, look it up. You goddamn
I
asshole.
can't think of another equivalent. Like,
Yeah.
where there's behavior like that. It's the same thing. It's like, you don't expect to be taught a board game, but you do expect me to, like, know how to debug your phone. Like, I don't get it. I don't.
I don't.
The expectation, and it is specifically an electronic thing, I think.
I mean, it has to be.
We are assumed like, I notice like an air of disappointment whenever I Google something for a customer. Like, I don't just, like, they are disappointed that I didn't just know it because I stand in the department with the televisions.
Do you know what
I'm saying?
No, I was thinking about this recently. Okay, if we knew literally everything, we would not be working in a retail job.
Yeah,
We would be making
working
a lot more money
tech support.
in literally any other electronic field. if you walk it, the training that they give us is 2 hours, an hour of which is expired video of things we no longer carry, and then the other half is just like propaganda videos from our like
Yeah.
our most expensive products, so that we can push them more easily. So that's the type of training that we get. We get biased propaganda and useless knowledge, and then just shuffle those together. And then we have to regurgitate it to customers who are both angry and displeased that we don't know the answer to this particular thing.
The amount of training we get is such that we could apply to like a computer repair store, and they would say, well, what kind of experience do you have in this field? And we'd say, well, I worked at a retail electronics department for 3 years, and they would laugh and count that as nothing. Like,
that's exactly what they do.
like that is the amount of the amount of credit, that is the amount of distance that goes. It's like, it's nothing. The amount that I can tell you is stuff that I've just worked, like, I have an iPhone, so I know stuff about iPhones. It's not work experience. It's not training on iPhones. It's just having and using an iPhone and knowing a little bit about how to set up a LAN party. Like, I know what a fucking Ethernet cable is. Like, that's it.
And I know that it's not a phone cable, and I know you can't plug it into an HDMI port.
Yesterday, I had a dude ask me, like what I thought about a printer. As though I have personally used, for my own personal reasons, like the 8 to 10 printers I have on display, which presumes that I've been using every printer that we've ever had personally. And I have an opinion about each one. Like
Like,
what?
we plug them in after we open them.
Yeah,
Like,
and then we
print out a
off,
test sheet.
We print off like a black and white one, and then a color one, and then we do that until the ink runs out, and
We
then
have
we
a
know.
comparison binder.
Like, the questions that
Compared
were
to my
asked,
dad.
like, well, how many pages will I get out of this printer? Like,
How many
per cartridge?
per cartridge?
It's like, what are the odds I know the answer to that?
What are you printing? I don't know. Word documents. Okay. How many words per page?
Today I was thinking about, like, what it is. Can I distill where customers go wrong, and like, can I really break it down? And I thought to myself, okay, here's the behind the scenes of it. When you as a customer come up to me, it is on me to help you. If you are the type of customer that we are complaining about and spotlighting on this show, at some point in our conversation, it switches from the responsibility to no shit being on me to now being on you. And when you become, the reason you become the customer that we're mad at is when you still think it's on me.
When they walk away disappointed
Isn't that
because you
just it?
don't have the product in the end. Okay.
Like it's on me to help you. You ask me a question, but there's a point where you get to a question or you get to a statement where all of a sudden the whole dynamic switches, and it's just your ignorance. It's the thing with phone chargers. It's like, well, I need a charger for my phone. Okay, what kind of phone? What's an Android phone? Okay, do you know if you saw it? Well, no, I wouldn't. Well, do you have the phone? No, I don't. Okay, it has stopped being on me to solve your problem right there. But the moment you still think that it is on me to get you the right thing, it's like you have released your right to be mad at me. Like, if
we don't have enough information, we cannot solve your problem.
Right, when it comes down to it, all I can do is essentially offer you with those phone chargers, if it's an Android phone and all that, 3 shots in the dark. It's either the micro USB, the micro USB 3, or the USB-C, and I will sell you one of them if you're going to be that obstinate about it, but there's a 1 in 3 chance you come back and tell me I sold you the wrong one, and you're mad at me. It's the expectancy that I know how to solve your problem when you have given me no information.
Yeah,
but you're mad because
we have
you
to be
think
telepathic.
you have given me enough information, but it is just not true.
It's not enough.
And it's like sometimes the customer's like, well, I'll just bring my iPad in. And I'm like, fantastic. Like, I'll see you soon. And then we're great. And sometimes they're like, well, why wouldn't this one work? And I'm like, there's a chance it will. And like, we're not even arguing at that point. It's just like, what they want me to do is say, yes, this will work, so that when it doesn't, they can be mad at me. You can't set me up to fail like that. And that's what you're doing, and you take glory in it, I assume. I assume there's some sort of perverse satisfaction.
Unlike Longbottom, we are in fact the victims.
God, no. Oh, man. Yeah. What is the point of having things like any property you leave in this department is we're not responsible for? What is the point of having messages like that and then having a button that says I definitely agree that is true, and then immediately reversing our statement on that because somebody was rude to us for long enough? Like, what's the point of having that blockade in the first place? All it does is reinforce the idea that if you were just an asshole for long enough, you'll get your way. That's what it is. We're going into the sort of slow jazz portion of
We're just getting real tired.
our podcast where we're
The rage is ending.
Where we're just
The release is almost over.
Instead of rage, it's just nihilism. Where it's like, why bother? When I had someone come in and ask me for tech help, and I said, well, I can't really solve your problem because we're not qualified to do it, and there's liability reasons why I can't. And that guy wasn't very happy about it. He was kind of fine with me, but apparently, according to our boss, he came back when I was on lunch and wanted to, like, complain about me and do, like, a full report. And then, not my boss, but an even higher up in the same building, comped the dude a gift card. And it's like...
Fuck you, Santa.
It's like at this point, it's like, why don't I just do the thing that I think is the wrong thing to do for the sake of getting this guy out of my hair? Because either, like, and I mean, I didn't get in trouble because of this guy's complaint. But that's not the thing that bothers me. It's like,
he still got rewarded for it.
He got rewarded for me being...
For him
being
being
angry and me being totally in my right to be like, this... Look, I don't want to do this, and here's why. I'm pretty sure it's against policy, and it's something I don't know a lot about, and I don't think I should do this for you for this kind of tech support. And, like, to my face, he was just kind of like, well, that's just, he was a little upset, but he, like, went away, and then he came back and yelled at my boss that I was being obstinate and unhelpful and rude, which I wasn't. And then, like, he got a gift card for that, for me essentially being like, refusing to go above my responsibilities as basically what I am, and what we are is just cashiers. But it's like, not only does it encourage that kind of behavior in customers, but it encourages an antithetical behavior in me that, like, I shouldn't...
It's like, even if we do our jobs to the best of our abilities, the assholes will still get rewarded.
Yeah. Or it's like, so why not just reward the asshole up front and just, like, humor them?
Some guy comes in, he's just like, fuck you, fuck everyone, this is, like, terrible service. And then you're just like, here's a $25 gift card.
Yeah, do you want
Thanks.
these headphones? Sure, I'll write them off. Like, have some headphones. And, like, let's just be about our day.
Please don't give us a bad Yelp review.
But, like, that's the thing. It's like, I can't do that, but I know that if I refuse to give them those headphones and they complain about me, then the person above me who wouldn't get fired for giving them free headphones can offer that. And then that dude's rewarded.
and
I
the
feel like
cycle
dirt.
continues.
I could have done that, but I didn't, knowing that I'd probably get fired for it. But somebody who gets paid more than me can do it, and it's fine. And in the end, I'm an asshole.
Yeah, we're just cannon fodder. Thanks for tuning in to Retail Release.
We have an email address. It's retailreleasecast@gmail.com. Please send us your stories. I guess we're going to probably try to share this out a little bit more.
Yeah,
We're currently on YouTube at Retail Release Cast. That's our channel.
If you're a retail associate and you want to send us your stories, please do so. If you want to be on the show, please contact us. If you are an angry customer, please send us with the description, highly unsatisfied customer. We'd really love to hear from you too.
And yeah, we should probably try to have a guest on the next one.
Oh yeah, we're definitely.
I think
doing
we'll
this.
have another voice for the pile.
The guest will be named Brian.
Yeah, regardless of who we bring on,
Brian.
that'll be Brian.
Everyone will be Brian.
Yeah.
Brian's great.
That's right. Yeah, in honor of one of our favorite people,
Brian.
Brian, our guest.
Shout out to Brian.
Hey, Brian.
You're the best.
Definitely.
Definitely. The end.
Thanks for listening.